His question is, Pastor David J. Meyer, can you tell me anything and everything you know about the Mormon religion?
Now, do I have a choice of anything or everything?
Well, he states here everything, so.
Oh, boy. There's a lot to tell. I can give you a brief synopsis if we got time before the break here yet. It may take 5 minutes. It's up to you.
Yeah, because that could be a very big question there. So what we'll do, T-Freak, was that we'll actually hold on to your question until after the break, and we'll go ahead and take an early break now, so that way we can kind of get into that. It's kind of a big subject there itself.
I can do it in 5 to 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, so why don't we do that? Why don't we take an early break where we'll be back within 5 minutes, and within that 5 minutes you can get up, stretch your arms, stretch your legs, get something to eat, get something to drink, or have the time with the Lord. So once again, we'll be back here in 5 minutes, and thank you everyone for coming in, and we'll be back. Okay, good. Welcome back to the second half of the Q&A. For those of you that are new in the room, welcome. This is our Q&A session here for Last Trumpet Ministries. We are joined live with Pastor David J. Meyer. Basically, for those that don't know the rules, real quick, post your questions in the room by typing it, and we will get them answered in the order they are received. We left off with these 3 questions, OLT Freak 2009, Awaiting Him, and Dave Marco. And we left off early because this question here is going to take a little bit of time, so we're going to get a running start at it. OLT Freak 2009 writes, Pastor David J. Meyer, can you tell me everything you know about the Mormon religion?
Well, okay, first of all, I'm going to hit the high points because to tell you in detail would indeed take a whole session or more. But let's hit the high points on this. Mormonism is a religion that basically started with one man initially, Joseph Smith. And Joseph Smith was from New York. He was a Freemason. He was a worshipful master in his lodge. And he, by his own testimony, said that he was out near Palmyra, New York one day, and he went into a cave. When he went into a cave, he was looking around. I don't know what he was looking for, but he was looking around in this cave, and he said he found some copper plates with writing on them. He couldn't read them. They were in some kind of a strange language. He didn't understand what it was. And an angel appeared to him and told him that all religions were wrong and that he was going to start a new one that would be correct. The angel then handed him a pair of glasses, spectacles, and he put them on, and then he could read exactly what, he could read and understand what the copper plates said. And from that, he said he produced the Book of Mormon, which was a supplement to the Bible. See, all of these false religions, they always have another little book that they have to add onto the Bible to modify things. Okay? Now, Joseph Smith started this thing going. His brother Hiram was working with him. They were lodge members. It was very Masonic. One of the things they came up with is that in their priesthood, of course, they have 2 types of priesthood. The order of Melchizedek is one of them, and the order of Aaron is the other one. The order of Melchizedek is higher, I believe. Now, when they would become what they call temple Mormons, or priests in the Mormon religion, they would wear a linen ephod, which is, you might say, sacred or holy underwear. It's like a union suit almost, long underwear, but it's cut off short. So it covers the body. It's like relatively short sleeves and shorter legs. But they wear this thing, and they have to wear it at all times. Now, they can never let it leave their body if they're a Temple Mormon. If they take a shower, they can take it off, but they have to hold on to it with one hand. This is a sacred ephod for them. Now, on one side of the ephod, there is a compass, and the other side there is a square. The Mormons begin to grow in number and move westward. They settled in Nauvoo, Illinois. And in Nauvoo, Illinois, they begin to grow quite rapidly. one of the reasons was it really appealed to the men because they did have multiple wives. To this day, there are 12 apostles that run the Mormon religion, and they reside in the Mormon temple with a lot of young women, let's put it that way. So this is, as far as their doctrine goes, too, they believe that they become, as they father children and so forth, they become gods themselves. Anyway, and by the way, I know from some Mormons that have admitted that they secretly do have more than one wife. It just isn't done with a marriage license, and it isn't done openly. But they still practice polygamy to this very day. Now, I'm just giving it to you straight here. I know this to be a fact. I'm not guessing at this. This isn't conjecture. It isn't hearsay. This I know because I've worked with Mormons and with other people associated with it. Okay? Now, at Nauvoo, Illinois, they begin to grow, and to support the Mormon church, they began to make counterfeit money. They had set up the presses, and they had plates, and they made some pretty good counterfeit money. It was pretty authentic, but it was counterfeit. And Joseph Smith was the worshipful master in his lodge in Nauvoo, and they built a headquarters there. But something had to change, and you have to understand, in the Illuminati, they use various organizations for a purpose. Well, one day, the sheriff, who was also a Mason, confronted Joseph Smith, and actually Joseph Smith, his brother Hiram, and several others were holed up in a certain area, and the sheriff came after him as being counterfeiters. See, they felt it was all right to pass off counterfeit money on Gentiles. Anybody who wasn't a Mormon was called a Gentile. And they weren't really people at all. You could take advantage of them. Okay? So anyway, they got into a shootout. And Joseph Smith and his brother Hiram were both killed. Well, after this happened, a man by the name of Brigham Young came along. Brigham Young ended up leading the Mormons to Salt Lake City, Utah, which became the center of Mormonism. They traveled westward, and they established themselves there, built a temple, built a tabernacle. Now, people can go into the Mormon tabernacle out there, but not the temple, unless they are proven Mormons, have a temple recommend written and signed by the bishop. Then they can be initiated into the temple. By the way, the Book of Mormon was not truly written by Joseph Smith. Many parts of it were plagiarized from a science fiction book that was popular in its day. And anybody who thinks that an angel's going to hand you a pair of glasses so you can read something, if you can believe that, then I've got rice paddies in Greenland I can sell you. But anyway, so they went out to Salt Lake City, Utah, Brigham Young University and all that. Now, to become a temple Mormon, you have to have a temple recommend. You go into, because there are a lot of Mormons that aren't temple Mormons. There are some that are called Jack Mormons because they will drink a little coffee and cola. They're not supposed to do that, and so forth. But anyway, to be a temple Mormon, you have to prove yourself as faithful and show your fidelity. You then are sent there on initiation day, and I hope this doesn't offend any of you. I'll be as delicate as I can about this. But, of course, they give you an ephod, but before you put it on, they anoint you with oil, including your private parts. So, both men and women. They put oil on you and sanctify you. They bring you into this temple, and they show you heaven. And they used to do this with mechanics, with these angels that come down, but they're hooked on ropes and things. It was pretty crude in the old days. Now they do it with high-tech electronics, where they have all these angels coming down out of the ceiling and all these things going on. You think, wow, this is heaven here, And you're caught up in the ambience of this special anointing, which is, I don't care what anybody says, that is a lewd act. and they do it in the name of religion.